How do you view those around you? Do you judge their lives? Do you accept other people's abilities, or do you focus on their disabilities? We are not all on the same page, that I know for sure. You can tell by watching the news, reading internet blogs, or simply listening to music. From Rent's 525,600 minutes, How Do You Measure a Year in a Life? To the Hollies, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. From the Eagles, All This Whining and Crying and Pitching a Fit, Get Over It. To Katy Perry's, You Held Me Down, But I Got Up. Get ready 'cause I had enough. Music shows our society's wide perception of judging and measuring, accepting and loving. I do not really know any of you, so let me tell you about myself. My name is Hannah Bergen, and I am 18 years old. I love music. I love playing the drums with my brother and listening to all kinds of music. You will find everything on my iPod: musicals, heavy metal, hip hop, pop rock, country, Christian, and classical. I love all movies, but my very favorite are horror movies. The more gruesome, the better. I have a sick sense of humor and I laugh whenever someone gets axed. I love shopping, especially with my sisters and friends. I love spa days and getting my nails done. Football is one of my guilty pleasures, and I will watch any game, especially when the Vikings are playing. I love going to live concerts. My latest is Pink's on January 7th, and my next one will be Katy Perry. I am the best secret keeper you will ever meet. I used to be able to talk before I got my trach, and even then I didn't spill a secret. I hate ugly people. Not people who are physically ugly, but people who are ugly on the inside. You know who you are. I am the toughest person I know. Needle pokes and IVs don't even make me flinch. I survived sepsis, a fatal illness, 3 separate times. According to the Sepsis Alliance, sepsis is a whole body blood infection that kills 40% of those who have it. So that's me in a nutshell. Oh, wait, I forgot something. I am very smart, and my brain works very well, but the rest of my body, not so much. I have cerebral palsy, vision impairment, and seizures. People see my disabilities immediately, and many times they do not even try to see my abilities. However, my abilities definitely outnumber my limitations. Maybe they do not want to take the time or are afraid they will hurt my feelings. But what they do not realize is that we all have different abilities and disabilities. According to a research paper by S.K. Gardner and Niranda entitled Culture and Disability, disability is a learned social role that people are put into and oftentimes do not choose. The paper also states that all cultures are exposed to people with impairments, but not all cultures view those impairments as disabilities. The paper gave several examples of how different cultures view people with different abilities. Here are just a few. Central Borneo. The Punan Ba Society views the body as a house for the soul. They emphasize the soul itself instead of the body that holds the soul. The impaired are an active part of society and expected to take part in all parts of society, including chores and work, to the best of their ability. Japan and Uganda. People with disabilities are considered by society to be contaminated, and they believe it extends even after someone dies. The Japanese and Ugandan societies believe that contamination is contagious and can spread. In Uganda, a disabled person is considered an outcast, and they have to fend for themselves in all aspects of daily life. Kenya. The Maasai culture doesn't stigmatize regardless of how severe the impairment. Physically impaired persons are expected to lead normal lives by getting married, having a family, and working to the best of their ability. The paper's authors explain that small-scale societies tend to include people with impairments in normal daily life, while complex societies tend to label and categorize people with impairments. There is a problem with labeling and grouping impairments. People with disabilities are just as varied and diverse as everyone else. The impairment is just one small part of who they are. When society groups people according to their disabilities, it encourages a false sense that they are all alike. It's no different than categorizing people because of their gender, race, or religion. So why is it considered okay to categorize people based on their impairments? In 1990, Congress passed the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which governs how states provide education in those with impairments. One of the many provisions is that students must be educated in the least restrictive environment. That means that if the parents and students prefer it, he or she needs to be included in regular education classes. Schools can no longer group all kids with disabilities and have them in separate classrooms just because they are disabled. Now, schools need to have meetings with students and parents to figure out what is best for each student on an individualized basis. The US has come a long way, but we still have a long way to go for kids of all abilities. The US consistently ranks below many other first world countries, including England, in reading and math tests. In a research paper entitled Grouping Kids by Ability Harms Education, Bowler from the University of Sussex in England said that children in mixed ability math classes did better than those grouped by ability. Additional benefits found in the mixed ability groups were that students behaved better, respected others, and showed more responsibility. We as a society need to focus on the gifts people have to offer rather than the impairments they have. We must learn to be flexible in communicating with others and encourage each other. And we should not be afraid of, but in fact embrace the different abilities everyone brings to the table. To quote the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the power of equality is not yet what it ought to be. Our society will be stronger when all abilities are recognized and appreciated.